the leaders of the North have not addressed the issue of how they promote their Amajiri system. Their own children cannot be, my own child cannot be Amajiri. But they are so self-centered and they ignored all the children of the North that are not be going to school all these 50 years or more. What's going to happen? Nobody is talking about it. My brethren Yorubas, they think and behave as if we are in Oduduwa Republic where Yorubas can be entitled, they can be a Milokan, can be our Lokan. But the Nigerian landscape belongs to everybody now. So, Obasanjo has served 8 years. And so, Professor Vice President has served another 8 years as whatever. If we want to be inclusive and bring the whole country together, it's only the Igbo that have not been president. And Afenifere, my own faction, our own faction, believes in equity and justice. Once you have rigging your way, snatching your way, and getting into position, you are not even prepared. It's clear that our president now is not even prepared to govern from day one. Why are you appointing? In fact, you have to have Ambassadorial list ready before you are sworn in. If you have economic diplomacy, you have to have trained them on what you have asked them to go out to achieve. But it came in just one slogan, fuel subsidy gone. And then we went to sleep. Can you imagine the cost now, the ambassadors now? Do you know each one of them with their wife and children, how much business class ticket we have to pay? Can you imagine how many dollars they have to be given to the extra code? And they have less than 1 year to serve. A terrible waste of the system. If you had an orderly system where, as far as everyone wanted, Obi, nobody can doubt his capacity, nobody can doubt his competence, nobody is perfect as a human being. At that time, he was the candidate for the time. The nation decided to do otherwise, and we are paying the price today, so unfortunately.
Now, you've spoken about ambassadorial appointments, and I want to ask you my next question on that. So do you think Tinubu's ambassadorial picks are based on competence or political rewards?
Well, let's have two categories. The career ambassadors, that's the peak of their career in service. They're supposed to have gone for 4 years term to serve the country properly. But they will not be hurried out. And in the next election, if Tinubu wins, some of them might be retained, but they have to be recalled again. Imagine the waste. So their careers have just been truncated. They have been lying idle for the last 2 years, just rotting away in Abuja. As for the politicians, it's just the good, the bad, and the ugly. I really cannot pick anyone seriously that is of the nature of Christopher Kolade, ambassador of commissioner in London those days. You cannot think of it. But the worst part is that in the next 4 months, it will take 4 months before they even be on post, because the countries have to agree to be ambassador before they will accept. They have to stand by when they are waiting for them to present credentials of their nomination. So the next 4 months is a waste in terms of resources, in terms of time. When you do something in a hurry, rush, you fail and fumble. It's so regrettable that we have this situation. We are in the wrong direction. We'll keep going. Look, if Tinubu wins 2027 elections, all the decampees now that are decamping now, they are in line again for appointment. Once you fail or you lose election, you lose Senate, you have to be made the ambassador. The INEC chairman now will also have to make ambassador. I mean, we are following money shows the day. We are in the wrong course of recycling these old people that are really tired. What we have now is politics of banditry. You predate, you fight your way, you become a senator, become a governor, and you just have to do all that it takes at all costs. This is not the right way to govern. We need to decentralize the power of the country. The president, we always say, is so powerful. What's the use of the power? He can't sit more than on a bed at a time. He cannot ride more than one jet. What is the big deal about this power that somebody cannot be reasonable But we are suffering. Look how much money has been spent on kinetics. How much is a bullet, as General Musa said? You fire a bullet, how much does it cost? All the soldiers are in the bush. We are not even talking about education. Nobody is talking about roads. Nobody is talking about artificial intelligence, which the world is embracing now. We are just living on predatory lives of survivor. We need to really pause and spend the next 1 year to discuss the way we are living. But like I said, so are we together? How do we be together? When we do that, then all of us will have a sense of inclusion. And the best minds will volunteer. You don't need to spend 100 million to get a form.
Yes.
You don't need that. We need to reform the system fundamentally and strategically.
You mentioned one of the brilliant minds from the Southwest, Chief Bola Ige, the late Chief Bola Ige, who died in a very, very terrible circumstances. I'm not even sure whether his killers have been found. But let me look at Afenifere again, your organization, whose ideology is based on that of the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo, that advocated a philosophy of fairness, justice, and national well-being. So for some time now, it would seem that President Bola Tinubu is emerging or trying to emerge the Yoruba leader in the mode of Chief Obafemi Awolowo. Does Afenifere see him in that light?
Well, the Yorubas are very, let me not say sophisticated. Anybody can say whatever he wished. In the minds and hearts of Yoruba people, we know who is selfless, we know who is intellectual, we know who loves himself as he loves the others. It is true that our president now engineered himself. He used all means possible, including Muslim ticket, including splitting Afenifere into two. But Afenifere, we were 11 in the executive of the Afenifere properly. Only 2 defected to Tinubu's side. The 9 of us are still intact in the Adebanjo fashion. It's a fact. So Afenifere is, we believe in welfareism. Freedom for all, life more abundant is the motto of Afenifere and it stands. When Abanation now because Tinubu has seized the political space, and can anybody say this and Awolowo will have produced blueprints in advance of coming. We know what's happened in 1979. UPN states were ready to govern under Awolowo direction. The same thing allowed for democracy too. But this haphazard governance and waking up and doing things, subsidy or no subsidy and all that, it's not Awolowo style. Nigerians should know it. Yorubas also know it too.
So you're essentially saying that President Tinubu was not ready to govern and is not ready to govern and is not doing well.
It's not me saying it. We already have 2 years of it. It's not me saying it. The facts are there. We now have evidence, empirical evidence. If I were to remove subsidy, I would have prepared all the palliatives in advance, automatically. How many CNG buses are on the road now? How many CNG buses? The only signature project of President now is the road from Lagos to Calabar, the road from Sokoto to Badagry. But in Western and Yoruba areas, where are the roads? Osun State is down now. The governor is being strangulated. Is that an Awolowo mantra to strangulate your own area too? Osun State is down. It's dying. And Tinubu is watching. It's unfortunate.
Now, based on what you've just said, it has become quite apparent that public trust has been lost along the way. What actions do you think could be taken to regain and rebuild to boost the public trust once again?
The patriots visited President Tinubu last year. He affirmed that he wants to do economics, that politics will come later. He has done economics now. He has passed tax fraud reform. The tax reform, we are going to see a lot of crying when it comes to effect, but let's leave that aside. I still plead for President Tinubu to change gear. We have to look at the politics of Nigeria. He said, economy first, politics later. This next year is for politics. And the blueprint is there. It's just to send a bill to National Assembly to say, authorize for a new constitution to be debated and agreed on. By May, it could be done. By October 1, it could be effective. we should not go into the next election with this predatory system that we have now. Let him even plan to retire. 4 years enough as president of your country now. Must it be a public of Cameroon? It doesn't have to be. How many months did the Murtala rule the country, and we see the impact everywhere? How many months? Awolowo actually ruled Western region only up to 1959. He ruled from 54 to 59. And we still have the impact up to today. So if he can just bequeath a new polity on Nigeria in the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months, all his sins will be wiped away, in my own record.
Okay. Let me take you up on what you said about the Constitution. You talked about the Patriots and their proposal, which you believe the president should take up or listen to. Are you implying that the current National Assembly Constitution review makes no sense, it's not valid?
I mean, they want to amend the Constitution in 83 places. If you have a cloth that is used and you are a stone and you want to patch it up in 80 places, why not just throw it aside and write an elegant constitution? We have a draft already. Nigerian constitution should not be more than 20 pages, federal. Relation between the federal and the regions or states. Then each region or state should go and craft its own constitution. Nigeria is not one nation, but we are in the same territory, no problem about. Let everyone go and do what suits them under Nigerian territory. So we need to have a federal draft, we need to have a state or regional draft. The Yorubas are different from Fulanis. The Hausas are different from Fulanis. Yes. It's nothing negative at all. We are just different. And even resources is different. North is farming. The south is crude oil. Middle belt is solid minerals. Even to focus on that,
okay,
it will be different.
True federalism now. The only one last card left to save Nigeria from implosion or self-destruction is true federalism. Fortunately and unfortunately, President Tinubu asked for true federalism when he was Lagos State Governor. So what has changed? The scope of true federalism in a layman's term, it simply means every state will have state law, state police, and control its resources. So with true federalism, nobody will accuse the Igbos of trying to dominate the oil state through the regional system of governance. Because our Igbo brothers are self-sufficient in their own enterprise, and that means every other state we have to be productive and stop being dependent on the national budget. A state like Osun State will make most of their resource center that are laid dormant to generate revenue, and also stop the illegal mining of gold to generate more revenue for the state use. Then northern states, upon realizing there is no more national budget for each state, they will have no choice but to eliminate terrorism and banditry for 2 reasons. Number 1, they will have to stop terrorists from illegal mining to generate revenue from the same resources. Number 2, the northern states has the agricultural produce, so without national budget, they will have no choice than to stop bandits from destroying their farm to generate revenue from agricultural produce to help the state revenue. So every other state will be forced to be productive. So it is safe to say the only one last card left to hold Nigerians together is true federalism.
The next thing he should do, tell him if you know him, is to restructure this country. Nigeria is a fraud. One particular tribe repressing the whole of us. They don't care. If you all become beggars, it's okay for their oligarchic mentality. I talk like no other pastor talk. I talk like no other pastor talk. Because I have seen into governance, I have seen into the church. And I know where the problem is in this country. Are you hearing me? They may not like what I'm saying, but they cannot dispute the truth. This country cannot go on like this. Okay, I was talking about those who migrated. I don't blame those that want to japa. You know, initially I was saying don't japa. Do you hear me say that again? Japa if you want to japa. Because you look at the country and say, what future? If it goes on like this, what future? If it goes on like this, civil war is imminent. If If it goes on like this, military intervention is imminent. Do we want to go back to that? No. Something must happen. I have always believed that something must happen. Do you see the way we pray in this church? Make Nigeria one. We don't pray. Nigeria is not one, and it can never be one. We are different nations tied together by force. We should still be one country, but let everyone govern himself the way he likes. Are you hearing me? Let the Niger Delta have their oil. Let the East have their resources. Let the Yoruba people have their resources. Let the North have their resources. Let them manage their security. Give them state police. Let everybody guard his borders. Let everybody generate his economy. Why must we generate oil in the Niger Delta and take it to the North? Why must we generate IGR here, or the VATs, and take it to the North? That generate nothing. The 10 key northern states have Sharia. Sharia says no to alcohol. Sharia says no to tobacco. But alcohol and tobacco is what give us VAT here. And you take the money from there to spend where you say you don't want, but you like the money. Fraud, unfairness, injustice. Where did we sit down to make Nigeria 36 states? Where did we sit down? Nigeria was negotiated 3 regions. North, West, East. 1963, by plebiscite, Midwest came in. Where did we sit down and say we shall be 36 states plus Abuja, and the biggest one taken to the North? More local governments. Then we came with federal character. You are qualified, but from the tribe you came from, you can't be qualified. Now, you can't pass any law in that National Assembly without Northern approval. They are in larger quantity. Deliberately made so.
When you take the history of Nigeria, from the very beginning, when we were amalgamated, to the very beginning we became a nation, we got it all together wrong. You bring in people of different culture, different beliefs, different socialization, different milieu, different outlooks, merge them together by force to form a nation. Only the initial builders of Nigeria had a clear vision and a mission, devoid of any sentiment. Soon thereafter, it became clear that it was a wrong union. It was a union that was not properly negotiated. We could have remained a great country if we had isolated our own identities, peculiarities, culture, while contributing to build a nation just like America. But we ended up having people from one generation, one set of leaders to another, everybody coming with a vision and a mission, and destroy the previous ones he met, even if they are good, because they are put in place by an imaginary enemy. Secondly, we have a nation where we celebrate criminals. It is only in Nigeria that somebody will clearly steal and loot hugely from the public treasury, and then after some times you see him receiving national honors, you see him being given chieftaincy titles, you see him being called king, prince, or an emir. That is an indicator that we are yet to be there. We also form a nation. Only the initial builders of Nigeria had a clear vision and a mission, devoid of any sentiment. Soon thereafter, it became clear that it was a wrong union. It was a union that was not properly negotiated. We could have remained a great country if we had isolated our own identities, peculiarities, culture, while contributing to build a nation just like America. But we ended up having people from one generation, one set of leaders to another, everybody coming with a vision and a mission, and destroy the previous ones he met, even if they are good, because they are put in place by an imaginary enemy.
Good day to our viewers all over the world, and welcome back to Local Journal. We've listened to the agitation of Nigerians and what Nigerians are saying in the video. Everybody wants to return to the regional system of government, and they want the president to sit up because of the several ills of the current government and the current administration. They also spoke about the injustice meted against the Igbo people, owing to the fact that they are the only tribe, the only major tribe that have not ruled since independence, and is not making since Second Republic rather. And it's not making any sense at all, because like since they returned to democracy, these people have not ruled, and they are one of the major tribes we have in Nigeria. So does it make sense? There is no equity and there is no justice in the land, and this is part of the plethora of problems you have, mounting pressure on the very existence of Nigeria. Because if this whole thing continues like this and it's not resolved, coupled with the insecurity issue stemming from the northern Almajiri part or Almajiri system, it's going to like divide, it's going to destroy this country, and they need to tool carefully and resolve this issue as soon as possible if they don't want the whole situation to degenerate into another thing. Because in a country where it's owned by everybody, a country where we all own together, I don't think it's fair to prevent some people from attaining these posts of presidency, and it's not making sense at all, because these guys sometimes even brag about it. So the right thing and the proper thing needs to be done. This is my opinion. Kindly drop what you think about this in the comment section, and if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel.